99 feet in diameter, just over 28 meters. The capacity today is about 1,600. This is St. Paul's Church. This is the back of it, even though it looks like the front. Inigo Jones designed this portico. And at the beginning of My Fair Lady, and you'll see it in the film, they're taking shelter from the rain under this. Most of the original fixed shops, the stationary buildings, the buildings that didn't move, the stalls that were fixed and stayed year after year, were all based around St. Paul's Churchyard. And St. Paul's Churchyard was the main area for booksellers in London. So the first ever stationary shops were in London, around St. Paul's. And that's why we use the word stationary for booksellers, paper, ink, writing equipment. They gathered round the engraving. There was the house, as before, under the waning moon and drifting clouds. The window that had been open was shut, and the figure was once more on the lawn, but not this time crawling cautiously on hands and knees. Now it was erect and stepping swiftly, with long strides towards the front of the picture. If you've ever seen the film An American Werewolf in London, the final scene is filmed along here. The second to final scene is filmed in Piccadilly Circus, but John Landis could not find a dark alleyway off Piccadilly Circus, so they decided to film the final scene here. This gets me. 1909, they had an indoor marathon. An indoor marathon around the outskirts. They did 524 laps of the auditorium. The business manager was Bram Stoker, and Bram Stoker wrote quite a lot of Dracula in that top left office. So little sunlight ever found its way to this spot that it had an earthy, deadly smell, and so much cold wind rushed through it that it struck chill to me. David Garrick had this idea, which was taken up by other people, but they would burn a chunk of limestone and it would glow green, and it meant that the actor was in the limelight. He got a good reputation, he made a massive profit, and he built a new, much bigger store. And what he did was extend credit to the more illustrious customers. People like Oscar Wilde, who was getting very well known in the late 1880s, Charlie Chaplin, Noel Coward, Sigmund Freud, and of course many of the royal family. That's the Theatre Royal Drury Lane, but it's on Catherine Street. At the back, to the right, Drury Lane was home in the late 1600s to many bakers. Different breads and different pastries were made there. We don't know for definite who the Muffin Man was, but we know there would have been somebody called the Muffin Man.